Now we're getting in some latest inputs on the Handwara operation in Jammu and Kashmir as we speak. In the 8-hour-long encounter that ensued, one colonel who was the commanding officer of the 21 Rashtriya Rifles, one Indian Army major, 2 soldiers and even 1 police sub-inspector have been martyred. 2 terrorists were also eliminated in this encounter. It was an 8-hour-long operation. The operation was carried out by the Indian Army and the Jammu and Kashmir police after a tip-off from civilian inmates in Changimulla. Preliminary reports suggest that the team at the first entered the target area and found civilians in a hostage-like situation. Despite coming under the attack of terrorists, the defence forces successfully extricated trapped civilians. After close to 8 hours of encounter, the 2 terrorists were eliminated. However, the team of 5 from the Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police have also been martyred. And soon after, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also expressed his gratitude to these martyrs. He's taken to Twitter, and in which he says that the loss of our soldiers and security personnel in Handwara is deeply disturbing and painful. They showed exemplary courage in their fight against the terrorists and made supreme sacrifice while serving the country. We will never forget their bravery and sacrifice. I offer my tributes to the soldiers and security personnel who fell in action. My heart goes out to the families who lost their loved ones today. India stands shoulder to shoulder with the families of brave martyrs. So that's what the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had to say as he expressed his grief over the martyrdom of 5 security personnel in Handwara. In his tribute, which he shared on Twitter, as you can see, the tweet is on air, where he has offered his tributes to the soldiers and security personnel who fell in action. For more details, let's quickly go across to our correspondent Ishan Vani, who's joining me with more details on this news story, which is a developing story at this hour. Ishan, the security deployment will not be lifted as we are being told. Does this indicate that the security forces have a tip-off about further movement of more terrorists being trapped out there?
Well, absolutely right. The security forces had not just started this operation yesterday. Let me remind you, it was day before yesterday when the movement of these militants were tracked down by the security forces and an intense operation was launched. But after a brief exchange of fire, they managed to escape from an area which is a forest area. And remember, Handwara is close to the line of control, so there are every possibilities that these militants had managed to sneak in through the line of control and hit the hinterland. Now, at the same time, security forces launched an intense operation in the area which lasted for 2 days. For more than 24 hours, there was a search operation going on, and there was a tip-off with the security forces that they are hiding inside this particular house. Now, the house was completely cordoned off, zeroed in by the security forces, and while they were zeroing in and trying to rescue the civilians, according to the army, they had a barrage of gunfire from the security forces, and that they retaliated back strongly. But at the same time, there was a contact which was missing with the security forces, including 5, including this colonel, a major, 2 army men, and 1 assistant sub-inspector of the Jammu and Kashmir Police. The police and army sources maintain that they have lost the contact, but these men were trying to go inside the house and trying to neutralize all these 2 militants who were there inside that particular residential area. Army tried to swiftly move in this operation, given the fact that the nature of the operation was in a residential house. They had to make sure that there are civilians who are evacuated. At the same time, the getting missing of 5 soldiers was something which was disheartening for the security forces, but they went on with the operation, tried to establish a contact with them. It failed completely for at least 6 hours, and then in the morning time today there was a final assault which was launched, and finally they neutralized 2 militants who were hiding inside that particular house. And later on, all the 5 bodies including a senior officer who was commanding 21 RR, who has also been decorated with Sena Medal earlier. Just last year he was decorated with the Sena Medal, and this year he has been killed in action while battling with the militants in a part of North Kashmir. And apart from him, major and 2 soldiers and a police sub-inspector who was part of the anti-infiltration group in that particular part of Kashmir Valley, he has also been killed. Now, the army and police says they are trying to search if there are more militants who could be hiding, because initially they had the input about more than 2 militants, and they are now trying to look for the dense forest area whether there could be more militants, and the search operation is still underway.
Right, indeed, a huge loss to the armed forces. But in terms of the 2 neutralized militants, what are you learning about their organizational affiliations?
Well, it seems initially that this particular two militants may have been part of a larger group which had infiltrated recently, given the fact that there's a frontline district Kupwara and they had just managed to infiltrate into the Kupwara side. We were also told initially when the exchange of gunfire took place that these are Pakistan-based nationals, militants who have recently sneaked in. But all this information will come very soon. What was the nature of them? When did they come into this side? And what were they actually doing while they were trying to, surrounding these areas? But we have no confirmation about their whereabouts, which organization do they belong to, whether they were trying to attack any location or they were trying to get settled in that part of Kashmir Valley. We have seen that there are a number of encounters that have taken place in Kashmir Valley in the last couple of weeks, and that has really triggered panic among the militants in part of South Kashmir. But at the same time, security forces say they are maintaining a tight vigil along the LOC and are trying to stop any infiltration attempts on the line of control in Kashmir and both in Jammu.
Absolutely, indeed. A very, very brave task being done by the armed forces during this time of crisis. We'll keep coming back to you, Ishan, for more details as and when they pour in.